The slope of a line. You guys tell me the first things that come to mind whenever you hear slope. Tyler. A mountain. Okay, that's good. Austin. Rise over run. That's the one I was looking for. Because most of the time, that's what people remember about slope. Rise over run. What that means is the slope of a line is just the change in the vertical distance over the change in the horizontal distance. Vertical, going up and down. Horizontal, going left to right. If you're rising, you're going up or down. And if you're running, you're going left to right. Rise over run. That's how we get rise over run. And like we said, if you're rising, you're going up. And when you're running, you want to think about running to the right. Okay, so run to the right of your graph. That's not the only way we can do it, but for our purposes right now, we're always going to rise and then we're going to run to the right. Does anybody remember the letter that's used to represent slope? It's not one that you would think. It's not S, or L, or O, or P, or E. On the wiki space? Slope is represented by the letter M. Okay, slope is the letter M. All we're going to do today is graph slope and then take slope from a graph. So you can see here, somehow my slide got a little mixed up, but that's okay. I'll just copy them down for you. So when you're graphing slope, you start at a given point and then you do the rise over the run. So for the first one here, we have the slope is 3 over 4. Rise over run. Start at that dot. Rise 1, 2, 3. You can draw a line, you can draw dots, you can do whatever you want to do. And then you need to run 4. So you go up 3. 1, 2, 3 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's your point. You can connect those, and voila, we've got a line. Number 2, our slope is 5 over 2. So we need to do what? What's our first step? Doug.
You have to rise 5.
Right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from there?
You have to go to 2 to the right.
Very good. 1, 2. Make a point. Can you straighten your chair, please? Thank you. Yes, you should put the arrows on it because the arrows means that it continues on forever. And then for your third one, all you got was your slope is 6. Now we always have our slope in a fraction form, so we can do rise and run. How could I make 6 into a fraction form? Connor? Very good. So now, go from that dot, up 6, to the right 1. And that's your slope. Now that's not so hard, right? No reason to hate slope. It's not too bad. Now with the negative slope, the first part is telling you the fraction negative 1/2 is the same as negative 1 over 2, and it's the same as 1 over negative 2. Why? What rule tells me that negative 1/2 is the same as negative 1 divided by 2 or 1 divided by negative 2? What rule tells me that? A negative divided by a positive is a negative. A positive divided by a negative is a negative. It doesn't matter whether your fraction is in the numerator or whether your negative is in the numerator or denominator. A negative divided by a positive is always negative. So negative 1/2 is the same as either of those two. It is not the same as saying negative 1 over negative 2. Why not? Why is it not the same as negative 1 over negative 2? Because a negative divided by a negative is a? Exactly. So it is not the same as negative 1 over negative 2. And then the next part of your slide says, for slope, make your top number the negative. So then instead of rising, if my top number is negative, I'm just going to fall. Make your top number negative. Then instead of rising, you fall so many units on the graph. So for number 4, m equals negative 2 over 3. Like I said, make your negative the top number, negative 2 over 3. So instead of rising 2, what am I going to do?
Fall 2.
Jeremy? Right. From that dot, I go down 2. Now I still want to run 3 to the right. 1, 2, 3, and make the dot. Notice these lines are going in a negative direction. They are sloping downhill. If you started on the left side of your graph, you would be going downhill because these are negative slopes. How can I graph number 5, negative 4? Jeremy? Very good. And then from your point, you can go down 4 to the right 1. And you have a line. Can you zoom out so you can see your line? Thank you. And your last one is 1 over negative 5. But how can I write that to make it easier? You can't switch the fraction. Very good. Negative 1 over 5. So then that way I just go down 1. And I'll be a little bit off the graph. Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then the very last thing that we want to do today is just find slope whenever you're given a line. All you have to do is count. And I'm pretty sure we're all capable of counting, right? We can handle that? Yes, I have faith in you. Counting has never been too much of a struggle, right? We've all got 10 fingers, 10 toes. We can do it. Okay. What's even easier is we are given 2 points. All we have to do is count from one point to the next. Rise over run. So how far did I have to rise before I ran over to this point? Tyler?
3.
Right. I went up 1, 2, 3. How far did I run over to the next point, Tyler?
2.
Right. Over 2. So my slope there is 3 over 2. In number 8, what did I have to rise before I could run to the next point? Doug?
-5.
Did you do number 8?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay. So we just have to go from one of the blue points to the next. And I just go up. How many L's there?
It's 2 or 1.
Yes, up 2, and then you run 1. What's the difference between numbers 9 and 10 versus numbers 7 and 8? Everybody look at that. What's the difference there? Kenny? Right. I would much rather ski down 9 and 10 than try to ski up 7 and 8. I'm not a very good skier anyway. I'll tell you about that some other day. But I certainly would not be skiing uphill on number 7 and 8. I would much rather my negative slope of a downhill numbers 9 and 10. So remember, if I have a negative slope, I am falling. I'm not rising, I am falling. How far did I fall here to get to the next point?
4.
Tyler?
-4.
Right? -4 over what? Someone else tell me, how far did I run to get to that point? Somebody I haven't heard from today. How far did I run? Whitney? Exactly. -4 over 1. Number 10, that's a negative slope, downhill. How far did I fall before I could run? I need 2 people I haven't heard from today. Brandon, you're one of them.
-5.
Very good. How far did I run? Someone said it. 6. Exactly.